You rapping. When can we expect some more?
This year.
Awesome.
Hopefully this year. I'm giving myself a deadline this year
Mm-hmm.
because I've really been drawn back into music. Like I love creating songs and writing and recording. I'm just putting it all together,
Mm-hmm.
and I want it to be done, and I want it exactly how I want it before I present it. So I'm still working on it. So
I'm excited.
really,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm excited too. It feels good.
I'm excited because of how you explain your music to me, and because you're such a musical person, like you have such a great taste in music.
Mm.
I feel like you creating music is going to be the bomb.
The bomb. Thank you. I appreciate it. It makes me feel good about it.
Yeah. When you write your poems, what kind of emotions are you in? Do you write poetry in your emotions, or?
I definitely write poetry in my emotions.
Okay.
Like, even if it's not, because most likely it's not my personal situation, I will write about a situation and then channel my own feelings into that situation and poem and then write it that way.
Mm.
Here's an example.
Mm-hmm.
There's a poem I have called You Really Got a Hold of Me.
Mm.
It's based off the Smokey Robinson and the Miracle songs. You Really Got a Hold of Me. People think, oh, it's a beautiful song, but he's really talking about a toxic relationship that he has with a girl that treats him horrible, but he can't get out because he loves her so much.
Mm.
So I've been in that situation, yes, before, but there's certain situations that I describe in there that never happened before.
Mm.
So even though I'm talking about a made-up situation, my real feelings are in that, and I channel that, and I write that, and it comes across that way. So I do that with a lot of poems. Like, even though most of my poems aren't 100% truthful, my feelings are. So I think that's what people connect with, and I can really kind of express myself that way.
If I didn't know you, and I just let's say I just saw you doing your poetry or just saw you performing, I would never know. I would think you were mean. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like in the beginning, like just seeing like your pictures, your photos, all that prior to me meeting you, I thought you were mean. Do you get that a lot? Like, do you get that intimidation?
I get that a lot, and it's been confirmed by a lot of people. Because like before, when I was like, when I was doing poetry, I would go there, I would sit in the back, I would just watch, I'll go up and do my poem, I'll go back and sit in the back, and I'll just leave and dip out. But later, as I started to like connect with other poets and started talking to them, I've heard it's like, yo, we thought she was so mean. Like, we didn't know how to approach you. Because I get on stage and I yell, and like I'm really expressive on stage, so people think I'm like that. And like I noticed people just wouldn't approach me and talk to me. And I wouldn't give them a chance because I would be like, I would get out. Gone, yeah. But like, so it was like after I like kind of really like again step out of my comfort zone, stay a little bit, converse with the poets around the event, and just really talk to people. People started to get to know me. And I just found out like they thought I wasn't approachable, but you know I just be chilling and socially awkward and in my head and full of anxiety. So I don't be talking much unless people talk to me. But I'm still pushing through that.
So let's talk about that since you brought it up.
Okay. It is a struggle.
Okay.
Because like with my anxiety, I think about everything. I think about what's going on. I think about what happened. I think about what's going to happen. I think about that time that I said you too when the waiter said enjoy your meal 4 months ago. And I'd be like, dang, what is wrong with me? And like like all of that stuff is crammed in my head all the time. And it gets bad when all of that focuses on something really bad. So it's like a bunch of other stuff. I don't know if you've seen the movie Soul.
Yeah, of course.
So there's a scene where I forgot the little soul. Like she's really, really bad. She's going into like the forgotten soul place, and all these thoughts of everything that she's going through is talking to her at one time, and that's how bad it gets when it gets really bad. So that is a struggle, especially with like depression at the same time. So if you're feeling sad and then my anxiety is attacking me at the same time, that is really, really rough.
What's your experience been like with therapy? Do you recommend therapy?
I actually recommend therapy because you need to talk to someone about it. You need to get these feelings out. Not only do you need to vent, but you need solutions at the same time. And the therapist is the most qualified person to kind of give that to you. Me personally, therapy is absolutely not for me. Every single therapist I had ever has been absolutely terrible and made it absolutely worse. Like, I never felt better after therapy, like, ever. But with good friends that are close, and it's never good to kind of put that on one friend, because there's a lot going on. So having a lot of good friends, you can talk about certain things and spread it all out, is what helps me. So my therapy comes from stuff like that rather than like professionals. But yeah.
You think writing helps?
Writing does help.
Do you journal at all?
I don't journal, but I kind of write, like if I'm feeling really sad, I would write out how sad I am. So I have a lot of those poems. Like, but there's one that's actually good enough to tell people, and that's the poem about my depression and anxiety. I don't name it because I write so many of these, but this is one that's good enough to kind of perform, and I perform in front of people, and it's like terrifying every time. Because like I said, like a lot of my poems aren't real.
Yeah.
But this one is 100% real how I feel. So when I go up there, it's like, yo, I'm really being vulnerable and exposing myself. But people connect with it that I learned.
Yeah.
Like, this is something new, like as new as like last month. Like, I did it at Pure Poetry DC, and I'm known for just entertaining everything. But when I got up there and got really real, people really connected with it. So right now in my poetry journey, I'm trying to be more vulnerable and be more truthful and see how that kind of changes everything.
Wow.
Yeah. It's rough, but outside of my comfort zone. You know what I mean?
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm proud of you.
I'm trying.
That's really brave.
It is. It's scary. It's so scary.
As a person, I can relate because I too deal with anxiety and depression and all of that. But talking and having like that community of friends or a support group or somebody to talk to that actually listens, nothing's better than that. Yeah. Nothing's better than that. Therapy is okay, but I've also not had the best of luck with therapy as well. So yeah, you find out what works for you. And again, I feel like so many people in our community are so scared to get help. Yeah, so scared because, you know, some people like to do the whole, there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. Right. They kind of hide and run from that fact because no one, you know, that's kind of a scary reality to some people. Like, oh my God, like, why am I so sad? Or why am I so this? Or why am I eating so much? Or why am I, like, all these things. But everybody I've talked to that discovered that they have something wrong, the first thing they tell me is, there's nothing wrong. I don't need therapy. I'm just going through something. But when it becomes like all the time you're calling me, all the time you're telling me stuff, I'm like, okay. You think I don't know the signs? Right. We've been doing this for a long time. Exactly. So, what is the problem with therapy?
The problem with therapy, I think, is that people equate it as being weak or not strong enough to handle what they're going through. And Black people are probably the strongest people that ever lived. And along with being the strongest people ever lived, we have to uphold that reputation of being strong. Yes. So a lot of people, like, if what's wrong, you need to go to therapy, is like they're admitting that they're weak and they can't handle something. So that's a kind of an ego type of thing. And I think that's what's keeping Black people from therapy. But like, I think it takes a lot of strength to say that you need help and really face the things that you're kind of running away from. So yeah, everybody needs therapy, but Black people definitely need to try it out.
Thank you. Yeah. A lot of us are, we holding stuff inside and don't know where it comes from. Yeah. It's just generational stuff. Even within our own families, like the abuse that your mother suffered from her mother and her mother suffered from her, like that kind of stuff, that them generational curses and all that. It's like we try to fight through that instead of really getting the help or talking about it. We just be like, I ain't like my mama. You just like your mama. I ain't like that. You just like her.
Right.
It's just that you don't see it that way because nobody wants to admit something's wrong. If somebody tells them or points something out to them, that's the complete opposite of how they see themselves. It's like the end of the world. But it's like sometimes we don't really see ourselves like we think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're so busy doing things your way that you don't have no idea like what it looks like to everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, this is me. You ever heard somebody say, this is me, just deal with it?
I hate that.
What else you hate?
I hate
Let's get into it.
I hate beans. They're like the most useless food of all time. They're terrible. Every single bean ever is completely disgusting.
I like garbanzo beans.
Garbanzo beans are trash.
What about black beans?
Black beans are trash.
What about...
Lima beans are trash.
I don't like limas now.
I don't know. It's like
Red beans?
Red beans are trash. Like, just give me the rice. No. That's the only thing.
I ain't taking you to Louisiana with me. It's a wrap, bro.
I'm just be like, can I get that with no beans, please? I can't do that in Louisiana.
Don't embarrass me, yeah. Don't embarrass me.
I don't like that with no beans.
You about to embarrass me in Louisiana.
Oh, they don't look at me like, okay, are you good? Thank
Yeah, and cut the tape. He ain't about to embarrass me. He ain't about to embarrass me. Are you excited for the rest of this year?
I am. I'm very excited for the rest of this year. Like I said, I'm doing new things, trying this movie, putting music out, and searching for the next thing that I'm not used to outside of my comfort zone, just to try and just to do. Like, what I've learned through through 2020 is like, you just have to do whatever it is you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, you can prepare, of course, you can be scared about it, but you just gotta do it. Like, time is not gonna wait for you. Everything is gonna move, and you don't want it to pass you by, and in 5 years you're gonna wish that you did it when you could have just did it and benefited for the next 5 years about it.
Yeah.
So, and just try everything. I'm trying everything. Like, everything.
I'm so happy.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank you for helping me and like introducing me to most of the things that I'm trying, like, for real. Couldn't do it without you.
You're welcome.
Speak about her character. Like, she's so amazing. Like, she's so caring, like, and just helpful and encouraging. Like, she's one of the people that is a part of my therapy team. You know what I mean? Like, she's just so encouraging of everything that I tell her and everything I bring to her, and it just gives it back. And like,
also, you guys have to check out my album line.
We ain't even talk about that the whole time.
That's why I'm like, let me do this before we get out of here.
Okay.
The process. You said it takes you long to write.
I did. It's like, with this project, I wrote the 3 poems probably within a week. And it's mostly in part with you, how you explained each song, where you was coming from, how you just explained the whole journey of the entire album. I was like, I get it. Like, I fully understand. I was there with her. I voice your conscience in a sense.
Yes, he did.
Like, I'm inside her mind, telling her about herself, encouraging her, and try to get her through situations. And how she explained that, but I wish I could, like, I still have like the email that she sent explaining each song in the whole album. I was like, yo, I completely get it, and I wrote it so fast. Also, fun fact, I wrote something before, like maybe a year before that, and then when she explained it, I was like, yo, this is not good. I tore up all of that and put it aside, and I just wrote something new, and that's what's on the album. And I think it came across really, really well. You did really, really good. Like, telling that narrative of that story and just how it flowed, it is amazing. I'm not saying that because I'm on it, but like, yo, it's a really good album. Like, it's a really good album. I'm glad I could be a part of it. Glad you asked me to be a part of it 2 years before.
I know.
Right? That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's been 2 years.
Man.
And that goes back to what you said about time waits for no one. It's so fast how you look up and you're like, damn.
Yeah. But you did it. I'm proud of you.
I'm going through, do as much as you can while you can. That's what I'm going through.
Come on now. That's a word.
Alright, before we leave this podcast, you gotta tell me something wild. Tell me your wildest date. First, before you tell me that.
Okay.
Do you like online dating?
No.
Why not?
Because it never works for me. I've tried online dating recently, and...
Oh, which one? Which one did you try?
I tried everything. I tried Plenty of Fish.
That's my shit.
I tried Black.
Ooh, I didn't try that one.
I tried Bumble.
I didn't like Bumble.
Cause I was like, the women gonna talk to you first, but it just like, they send like a GIF, and then like, yo, what? Just to say that they said something and it never turn anything. The problem with online dating with me is that it felt like women just like swiped to connect just to collect connections. So like they would swipe and have connections, and I would say something to them, then they would say something back. I would say something to them, and it's done right there. Like none of my connections transitioned to an in-person type of date. It just like, I just got left on red after about every single one. So like, yo, it just don't work for me. I know people that had like really good like success with it, but like me, it just never worked. So
your DMs about to light up after this interview.
I mean, they're open. The DMs are open.
You don't like online dating?
No, online dating is the worst. I can't. It never worked for me, and I just stopped. Like I legit. I deleted every single app and just stopped, and I feel better about it.
Oh wow. Are you a guy that approaches females like when you're out? Because I'm guessing if you don't like online, you prefer the in-person connection. Are you a guy that approaches a woman if you feel like there's a connection, or are you someone that waits for a girl to come talk to you?
I'm kind of both.
Okay. Like
certain situations I would approach and just say something and just like freestyle whatever from there. And a lot of times we're like, I'm not feeling very social today. So like, no. But then like sometimes they will approach me and it kind of goes.
Are you an introvert?
Definitely an introvert. That's legit who I am. Like I'm really okay being by myself, being at home, chilling. I was never like a club person, you know what I mean? But I will go out and be social. But poetry has helped me to be out of that comfort zone again. Because like, I gotta be out, gotta be around people, and like, I gotta talk. So like, that's what's getting me out of it. But I'm an introvert at heart. Like, I can just chill and like, just play video games and I'm perfectly fine. So like, the whole lockdown.
You've loved it.
Yeah, other than me not being able to do poetry, I was like, cool, I'm good. I'm introverted.
That's not wrong that I am too.
You are? Really? Young Breeze?
It started. I'll be honest with you. So I wasn't always an introvert. It actually began a little bit before my last real relationship.
Okay.
My last serious one.
Right.
Let me put that out there. Because I've dated, but I'm talking about my last serious one. It started out a little bit before that one because I had gotten so used, because prior to that relationship, I had been single for like almost 7 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all I did was work, come home, maybe hang out with my friends, maybe go see my parents, work, come home. It was like that same thing. But it got to the point where I was always around people. And I don't know what happened, but something happened where I was like, I'm tired of being around people. Like, I'm so tired. So I never want to be around them. So now I'm a person where I just love being with myself. I love my peace. I love my silence. I love my sanity. I love my quiet. Also, that's how I also gained boundaries in that long stint of me being single. I gained hella boundaries because I realized that I got so used to my space and being with myself that to be with another person or to be in their energy or in their space, I gotta know why. What we doing? You're not gonna waste my time. If I can have fun, a better time by myself, I'm gonna always choose that. I'm gonna always say no, so you gotta convince me to come out. And I got so in tune with myself and my energy and getting on my own wave, my own frequency, that I was like, yeah, I don't too much need nobody around me. I don't want nobody penetrating this. Okay? So, because like I've said before, we're fine by ourselves. Yeah. It's other people who disturb our energy.
Right.
Because think about it. You can be having a great day. Just having the best day ever. You start having feelings for a person, any little thing they do gonna bother you. Tell me I'm lying. Mm-hmm. You can have the best day ever. Your girl call you. She pissed about something. No, you're pissed about something.
Yup.
And you're like, what the
flow of everything.
And don't let it be towards you, because then it's like, hang, I was having a good day.
Right.
Why? Why is that? Because again, if you're not in tune with yourself, you gonna miss that. You're gonna miss that energy. Me, by the time I got my last relationship, I was so in tune with myself. When they call, I'd be like, nope. Send that joint to voicemail. I'll talk to you when I get home. Cause you're not ruining my day. I'm at work.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, them at work.
Ooh, and don't let it be a day that you have to be focused.
Oh my god. Ooh. So many times.
Ooh.
Yeah, not at work, man.
Not at work. Not when I'm with like my friends or my family.
Oh man, like you out?
Ooh, you would go home fast. You would go home fast. Man. Quickest way to get you out, to get you back home, is blow you when you out with your peoples. Mm-hmm. You don't know how you do this no more.
Some people, I knew women that knew when you was out, knew you had plans, you was out. I was like, no, I'm gonna mess with him. He's not gonna have a good time. Like, why? Like, leave me alone. Oh man. But yeah.
I don't miss that. I'm so I'm single, so I'm back in my world now. And now I'm definitely introverted. Like it's to the extreme of like I gotta pick and choose days I even want to answer text messages. When you find yourself, man, I'm trying to tell you, nobody can mess with that. That's the best feeling. The most freeing feeling is when you know you so well. Even in a relationship, they can't ruin your day no more.
Yeah. They
can't ruin your day. They energy in the house can't ruin your day. They can be in the house mad, stomping, whatever. You be like, anyway, I'm over here with it. When you get there, you can't be moved.
Yeah.
And that's the energy that I encourage all of you guys to get to.
Absolutely.
That's a freeing energy. Be free.
Be free.
Like my song.
I see what you did there. Come on now, be free.
I might insert it here. It's like, nah, I'm just joking. So my last question for you for the night.
Yes.
I asked my guest Marlon this question. I think this is a good question. What relationship or situation that you've been in was the one that changed your whole perspective on relationships in general?
It was actually a combination of the last two relationships I've been in. A lot of people, you hear these songs like, I love you more than I love myself. You know what I mean? I love you so much I'd do anything for you. I've learned that is the worst possible thing you can do. When you start loving someone more than you love yourself, you start putting up with things that you should not put up with. Your boundaries are gone. You started turning a blind eye to certain ways that they treat you, certain things that they say to you just because you love them and you want to prove to them and make them happy and all that stuff, but the whole time you're not being happy. So you have to love yourself first. So when you love yourself first, you like, nah, I'm not going to put up with this. Yeah, when you love yourself, you come to the point that you can say, I love you, but I'm not putting up with this, so I'm going to leave. And that's the toughest thing I had to do because I was in the opposite of that. I was like, nah, I'm going to keep working because I love her. I'm going to do this because I love her. But the whole time, they was treating me a certain way, which was terrible. And it took 2 relationships for me to kind of snap out of it. So that's the one thing that kind of changed my perspective of everything. So now I got boundaries.
Yeah.
Like certain people do things, not just like women and dating and everything, but just like people in general. It's like, yo, they do something, nah, I don't like that. And you gotta stop it.
Yeah.
If they don't want to stop it, then bet. I'm just cool. I don't have to talk to you ever again. But a lot of times, like, yo, I'm doing that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna change. And you put that out front and have those type of boundaries, you weed out a lot of people in your life, and it's for the better. Even if you lose people, if you gain people, and get close. So, never love someone more than you love yourself. Yeah.
Good shit.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This has been so fun. I feel so honored to be in your podcast and your presence. I always want to say presence, but it's like, you know.
You know, my presence is a gift.
I knew you was going to have another bar. I was trying to think of like one last bar, but she beat me to it.
You need some time to get it together? You need some time to give me one?
No. Your presence is a gift. That's what's up.
And it keeps on giving.
I'm so
you
mad.
might as well say thanks.
Thanks get. This is blowing me. I'm legit trying to find a bar to say, and she just took off. She does this all the time.
We feed off each other. See, I'm not even a poet, but he's inspired me to get back into writing poetry. I used to write poetry back in the day.
You should do it again.
The word of the year, ladies and gentlemen, is abundance. Use it in a sentence today. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
I thank you.
Thank you.
You are something special.
Oh. Thank you.
The world's not ready, but they better get ready.
You know what I'm saying?
You been.
Like for real.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank my guest, Silent TChaositself, for coming through. Make sure you guys follow him on all his social medias. You want to tell them your social media?
Yes, it is at TChaositself, CHAOS. Because a lot of people don't really spell chaos, and they don't know how to spell it. But it's at TChaositself on Instagram and TikTok. I'm trying to get in that. Xbox, PlayStation, and Cash App.
What about Twitter?
I don't have a Twitter. I don't have a Twitter. I should get one, but I don't tweet.
I do.
You do?
All the time.
I know. I've seen it. I
you
don't have a
did.
Twitter, but I've seen some stuff.
I bet you did.
Better off alone. Alright.
Y'all have a good night, and thank you.
Yes.
We'll see you next week. This is going to be a long interview. I can't wait to edit this.
Man.